You know, I'm listening to all this like that, but Wolf don't catch. He said, yo, ain't like that, I'm telling you. He ain't like that. You understand? Papa was talking about, I don't need you no more. I don't need you no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm good.
His mind was like always on 1,000, like always. And it's good in a lot of ways, but then, you know, it's always a price to pay. I don't care what you do.
The shocking drama surrounding Sean Diddy Combs and his family has taken an absolutely mind-blowing turn, one that no one could have possibly seen coming. We're talking about a betrayal so outrageous, so deeply entangled in greed, that it feels like something straight out of a high-stakes Hollywood thriller. But this isn't some movie script, folks. This is cold, hard reality. And at the very center of this explosive scandal, none other than Diddy's own mother, Janice Combs. The whispers are getting louder that the very woman who raised him, who stood by his side and defended him time and time again in public, might secretly be orchestrating his downfall behind the scenes. Just how far would someone go to get their hands on a fortune worth hundreds of millions? If these rumors are to be believed, far enough to stab their own child in the back.
Evidence, alleged evidence, that's been gathered in this case was from those 2 raids that were conducted on his personal homes in Miami and Los Angeles. And the indictment names the things seized that he allegedly made videos of these performances that have been named freak-offs.
Let's take a moment to rewind here. For years, Diddy has been portrayed as the head of this powerful, incredibly tight-knit family. From those picture-perfect red carpet moments to those lavish, envy-inducing vacations, everything seemed absolutely flawless. Janice Combs played her part perfectly as the proud matriarch, standing tall beside her son as he built this incredible empire spanning music, fashion, and entertainment. But now, with Diddy sitting in a Brooklyn detention center facing charges that could absolutely demolish his legacy, those perfect family bonds are starting to crack. And the biggest, most shocking crack of all, the whispers that Janice might be feeding information to federal investigators, leaving breadcrumbs that could ensure both her son and, if you can believe it, even her own grandchildren stay locked away for good.
Yeah, but so there's still, I mean, it's crazy too because there's still more happening in court. Like, I mean, everything is still active even though we're not hearing about it as much anymore. And the people may be fatigued like we talked about prior to.
And oh my goodness, it's absolutely wild because there's still so much happening in court, even though we're not hearing about it as much anymore and people might be getting fatigued like we discussed earlier. This story just keeps getting more explosive. Sources close to the situation have dropped this absolute bombshell, claiming that Janice has been quietly communicating with investigators, spilling crucial details about Diddy's infamous lifestyle and those alleged activities tied to his lavish parties. These whispers suggest something absolutely shocking: that Janice sees Diddy's legal troubles as her golden ticket to take control of his fortune, estimated at over $400 million. And honestly, the reasoning isn't hard to follow. With Diddy out of the picture, Janice could get her hands on all that wealth, money that would otherwise be eaten up by legal fees and settlements the family's drowning in. It's such a jaw-dropping twist, painting Janice in a completely different light. Not as the supportive mother Diddy's always made her out to be, but as this calculating figure who's ready to sacrifice her own son for financial gain. And let's not forget, Janice has never been shy about criticizing Diddy's decisions, especially the ones that dragged his name through the mud. Sure, she's played the supportive mom in public, but insiders are spilling the tea that behind closed doors, her frustration with her son's reckless behavior has been simmering for years. And now, with lawsuits piling up and Diddy's reputation in absolute shambles, Janice might see this as her perfect moment to strike. The timing? Beyond suspicious. Reports have surfaced that Janice has been unusually distant from Diddy's legal team, flat out refusing to join strategy meetings or show any support in the courtroom. Instead, and this is the kicker, she's reportedly been spotted having private dinners with people rumored to have connections to the investigation. Coincidence? Maybe. But honey, it's getting harder and harder to ignore this pattern.
Wait a minute, say that again. Say that again, back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is
yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of.
But oh, this family feud runs so much deeper. Sources are revealing that tensions between Janice and her grandchildren, Diddy's kids, have reached an absolute boiling point. Christian King Combs, Diddy's youngest son and self-proclaimed heir to this massive family empire, is reportedly locked in this intense power struggle with his grandmother. Inside sources tell us King has been desperately trying to unite the family behind his father, but Janice, she's apparently just brushing off his efforts, laser-focused on what many believe is her true endgame, positioning herself as the only one in control of the Combs dynasty. This has supposedly led to some explosive arguments, with King accusing his grandmother of selling out their family for her own selfish gain. The tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife, and it's raising this devastating question. Could Janice's actions tear the Combs family apart forever? These whispers about Janice working with investigators, they're not just idle gossip, honey. There's serious speculation that she's been feeding them information about Diddy's notorious parties, intimate details that only someone in his innermost circle would know. These parties, once celebrated as the ultimate symbol of luxury and excess, are now at the heart of all these accusations against him. Sources claim Janice knows everything: who was there, what went down behind those closed doors, and most explosively, where certain incriminating materials might be hidden. If these rumors are true, this could be exactly what investigators need to build an airtight case against Diddy. And if Janice is really the one dropping all these breadcrumbs, well, that would explain why this investigation has gained such incredible momentum in such a short time.
Sounds like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well. Is that what is being talked about?
Yes, this was actually in his Atlanta home, at
Okay.
a home he had in Atlanta at one point. And it does seem that the person isn't like looking into the video, so it's, to me, doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped. It doesn't seem like they're active participant in the videotaping.
But the question on everyone's minds, why would a mother do this to her own child? Some insiders suggest Janice's motivations might be more complex than just pure greed. There's speculation she's driven by this toxic cocktail of anger, disappointment, and an overwhelming desire for control. For years, Janice apparently stood by silently, watching helplessly as Diddy's extravagant lifestyle spiraled completely out of control, surrounded by people she reportedly couldn't stand. Maybe this is her way of finally seizing back the power she feels she lost. Others, though, aren't buying that sympathetic angle, painting her as this cold, calculating figure who sees Diddy's downfall as nothing more than a means to an end. Whatever's really driving her, the result is absolutely devastating. A family in complete chaos, and a man who once seemed absolutely untouchable now fighting for his very survival. The timing of these rumors couldn't possibly be worse for Diddy's children, who are already struggling with their own legal nightmares. Christian and Justin Combs in particular have found themselves under intense scrutiny as more and more allegations keep piling up. Insiders say Janice has barely lifted a finger to support her grandchildren during this crisis, adding fuel to suspicions that she's more interested in protecting her own interests than standing by her family. It's such a shocking contrast to the image of perfect family unity the Combs have worked so hard to maintain, and it's making everyone wonder what other secrets are lurking behind those closed doors.
But like I said, you know, the entertainment industry is very, very, very messed up when it comes to, you know, the bigger you get, the more you had to do to get there. And so if you're not willing to put yourself in that position, you kind of have to put your foot down.
And here's something even more disturbing. Whispers are circulating that Janice has been actively encouraging investigators to dig deeper into her own grandchildren's activities, particularly Christian's. Some believe she's using them as pawns in her grand scheme, hoping that putting pressure on them will force Diddy to cooperate or even plead guilty. It's absolutely chilling to think about, a grandmother potentially willing to sacrifice not just her son, but her own grandchildren, all to secure her financial future. If these rumors are true, we're talking about the ultimate betrayal, one that could leave emotional scars on this family for generations to come. And yet, despite all of this, Janice continues to play the role of the supportive mother in public, claiming she's just trying to do what's best for her family. She's spoken about her undying love for her son and her belief in his innocence. But behind those closed doors, insiders paint a completely different picture. The whispers about her secret meetings with investigators, her alleged attempts to undermine her own grandchildren, and her growing distance from Diddy's legal team, it all points to a woman playing both sides. Whether she's doing it out of anger, disappointment, or pure greed, one thing is crystal clear: Janice Combs is proving to be a force to be reckoned with, and her actions could absolutely destroy her family.
Everyone keeps saying to me, like, how did you keep, you know, why did you keep going? Why were you there? I'm like, it literally is around me. If I don't stay at home, this is the atmosphere I'm in. Like, I have no choice.
The fallout from this alleged betrayal is already sending shockwaves through the family. Diddy's children, who initially stood united behind their father, are reportedly starting to question whether their grandmother has any love left for them at all. King Combs, in particular, is said to be absolutely devastated by these rumors, watching helplessly as his family crumbles around him. The once unbreakable bond between Diddy, his mother, and his children is hanging by the thinnest of threads, and honestly, it's hard to imagine how they could ever repair this damage. As this investigation keeps digging deeper and the allegations against Diddy become more and more serious, the Combs family is staring into an abyss of uncertainty. Their future could see them completely torn apart by greed, betrayal, and the crushing weight of their own secrets. And trust me, this is just the beginning. The drama surrounding the Combs family is far from over, and with each new revelation, the stakes just keep getting higher. As the investigation intensifies and the whispers about Janice's involvement grow louder, one thing is absolutely certain: the Combs family saga is only just starting to unfold. What happens next could change everything for Diddy, for his children, and for the legacy they've worked so desperately hard to build. But right now, one burning question remains. In a family torn apart by betrayal, who can you really trust?
He is very, very dominant. Like, he wants to control the situation. He wants to control his inner circle. He wants to make everyone have a good time and enjoy his parties. And so, you know, it is scary because you think, you know, this person or possibly his social network or the people he's around could make or break your career.
Let's turn our attention to Christian, better known as King Combs. On the surface, King has always been portrayed as the golden child, the chosen heir to Diddy's vast empire. He's followed precisely in his father's footsteps, carving out his own name as a rapper and social media influencer. From those extravagant photo shoots to private jets and those impeccably tailored custom suits, King has spent years flaunting the immense wealth and power that comes with being Diddy's son. But now, that glamorous facade is starting to crack, and the allegations against him threaten to destroy everything he's worked for. Multiple sources have revealed that King's name has surfaced in connection to some of the most disturbing claims tied to his father's infamous lifestyle. Insiders allege that King hasn't just attended, but actively participated in the same kinds of extravagant parties that have landed Diddy in such serious trouble. And if these rumors prove true, his role in these events could be far more significant than anyone ever imagined. One of the most shocking accusations emerged from a lawsuit filed earlier this year by a woman claiming she endured harassment and mistreatment during a yacht party in December 2022. While the event, chartered by Diddy himself, was supposedly meant to be a family-friendly gathering, the lawsuit paints a much darker picture. The plaintiff alleges that King took an unsettling interest in her, pressuring her into questionable behavior and even cornering her in a private room. Even more disturbing are the claims that King used intimidation tactics to assert control over the situation, leaving the woman feeling completely helpless and terrified. Though King's legal team has vehemently denied these allegations, the lawsuit has cast an ominous shadow over his once pristine image.
You know, if you say the wrong thing or you complain or you know, I don't know, there's an element where you're just, I guess manipulated in a way to make you feel like, oh, you have to please everyone around you. You can't say anything wrong. You don't want to say a bad thing, or, you know, when they're constantly asking, would you like to do and you're like, well, I don't do, and they're like, well, why don't you do?
The scandal doesn't end there. King's alleged involvement in these controversies has ignited intense speculation about his role within the broader Combs empire. Some insiders believe King was being carefully groomed to take over the family business, but his alleged actions could completely destroy that succession plan. Others suggest King's behavior reflects a deeply troubling pattern of entitlement and recklessness that's been allowed to fester within the family for years. Whatever the truth may be, one thing is absolutely clear. King Combs is no longer just a rising star. He's now a central figure in one of the most explosive scandals to ever rock the entertainment world.
That he had his son bring girls over to the parties, usually underage girls.
Meanwhile, Justin Combs, Diddy's eldest son, is drowning in his own sea of troubles. He's been slapped with a shocking lawsuit from a luxury car company over an unpaid $200,000 Bentley lease from 2022. But that's just scratching the surface. Justin's reputation has been absolutely shattered in Los Angeles' elite real estate circles, with accusations of turning quiet rental properties into chaotic party scenes, leaving behind a trail of destruction that's made him persona non grata among high-end property agents.
Well, listen, when you're working, and this guy worked for Diddy, worked with Diddy, for Diddy,
Yeah, he was his a producer and videographer.
The Combs brothers' legal troubles have transformed from a private family matter into a full-blown public spectacle. Diddy's carefully crafted image of family success and unity is unraveling at an alarming pace. Industry insiders point to a toxic culture of excess that's finally catching up with the family, while others suggest Diddy's legal troubles have created a devastating domino effect, exposing his sons to unprecedented scrutiny.
I don't know the consequences of what that could have been. So I didn't really talk about it. I should have gone to the police. I should have said something other than to my agent. I'm just thankful that there was somebody there. There was somebody at that party who helped me, because I could have ended up in a really bad situation.
As this investigation continues to unfold, everyone's asking, what's next for the Combs family? Can Diddy's sons possibly salvage their reputations, or will they be dragged down by their father's mounting scandals? The fallout extends far beyond just the Combs family, sending shockwaves through the entire entertainment industry. Many are questioning how such behavior went unchecked for so long in an empire built on power and influence.
Using, allegedly, these events to invite them back to these private mansion parties and hotel parties and God knows what else. But he was utilizing the branded events to be able to, get the girls to come over to his private spaces, allegedly.
One thing remains crystal clear. The Combs family will never be the same. The once unbreakable bond between Diddy and his sons has been tested in ways few families could survive. While they may still present a united front publicly, the private toll of these scandals is devastating. For Christian, Justin, and the entire Combs clan, the future remains uncertain. Will they rise above this controversy and rebuild their legacy, or will the weight of their past finally bring this empire crashing down? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more celebrity gossip. Until next time, stay tuned and keep the conversation going.